Most people think house poor is something that happens to people who earn less. That's not true. House poor happens to people who earn more, but buy a lifestyle that eats every dollar of margin. And here's the cruel part. It can look like success from the outside. New neighborhood, bigger kitchen, a dedicated office, a forever home. But inside the budget, you're one property tax increase away from panic, one HVAC repair away from a credit card, one job wobble away from selling at the worst possible time. This is the high-income poverty trap. Rich on paper, broke in reality. Today, we're auditing the bigger house trap, how it starts, why it feels responsible, and what rules actually protect you. We'll cover the difference between approval and affordability, the real housing drag most people never budget for, and the system that keeps you from turning your home into a financial prison. And here's the line you need to remember. The mortgage payment is not the cost of the house. It's only the admission ticket. Let's audit it. Here's the trap. The bank approves you for a number. The realtor celebrates. The family cheers. And your brain labels it. We can afford it. But banks don't approve what's comfortable. They approve what's survivable. They're not underwriting your peace. They're underwriting the payment. Approval is a risk calculation based on your income, your credit, your debt ratios, and the assumption that you will keep behaving like a perfect borrower. Real life does not behave like a perfect borrower. Real life sends surprise medical bills, childcare cost spikes, job transitions, car repairs, family emergencies, layoffs that don't care about your spreadsheet. So if you spend near the top of what you're approved for, you're not building a life. You're building a fragile system. The auditor doesn't ask, "Can I get approved?" The auditor asks, "Can I still breathe when the unexpected happens?" That's the difference. Part 2, Micromath. How house poor happens on a good salary. Let's walk through a common scenario using assumption-based micromath. Let's assume you earn $15,000 a month gross. A bank approves you for a $5,000 monthly housing payment. On paper, you might think, that leaves $10,000. Easy. Now shift to reality. Depending on taxes, deductions, insurance, retirement contributions, and where you live, take-home might land closer to something like $9,500. Now that $5,000 payment isn't 1/3 of income, it's a little over half of net income. You're left with roughly $4,500 for everything else. Groceries, utilities, cars, insurance, phone, subscriptions, savings, investing, life. And here's the part people miss. A bigger house doesn't keep the everything else the same. It expands it. Utilities climb. Insurance rises. Maintenance becomes real. And you start buying stuff to match the house. So the payment isn't just a payment. It's an anchor that pulls your entire cost structure upward. This is why high earners can feel broke. Not because they're dumb, because the system is tight. A tight system turns normal life into emergencies. House poor isn't a moral failure. It's a margin failure. Part 3. The hidden housing drag, what you forgot to count. Most people budget for the mortgage. Some budget for taxes and insurance. Almost no one budgets for the rest of the drag. Let's list the usual suspects. 1. Escrow drift, taxes plus insurance. Property taxes can adjust. Insurance can reprice. Your payment can rise without you choosing anything. 2. Utilities scale with space. More square footage means more heating and cooling, more lighting, more water, more wear on systems. Even if it doesn't double, it usually jumps enough to matter. 3. Maintenance is not optional. If it has a motor, it will fail. Water, it will leak. A roof, it will age. A driveway, it will crack. Landscaping, it will demand money. 4. Furniture and fill the space spending. Bigger home creates an invisible pressure. Empty rooms feel unfinished. So you buy furniture, decor, rugs, storage, lighting, garden tools, then you call it settling in. 5. The lifestyle halo effect. Once you buy the bigger home, you upgrade the car to match it. You spend more on hosting. You normalize premium spending because the house made you feel safe. This is how a house becomes a spending accelerator. The auditor calls it, the house doesn't just cost money, it trains you to spend money. Rule Group 1. Approval versus affordability. Stop letting the bank pick your life. Rule 1. Approval is not affordability. Trap. Spending near the maximum you're approved for. Why it feels normal. The bank's approval feels like validation. Fix rule. Rule of thumb. If you want margin, aim to keep total housing cost around 25% of take home when possible. Do this today. Look at your net deposits over the last 90 days. Ignore gross. Tiny example. If take home is $8,000, a conservative target is around $2,000, even if the bank offers $3,500. The bank's number is a ceiling, not a recommendation. The ceiling is the edge of the cliff. Living at the edge doesn't make you brave. It makes you fragile. Rule 2. Your target payment is the one that lets you keep saving. Trap. We can make the payment, so it's fine. Why it feels normal. People confuse survival with stability. Fix rule. The payment must allow emergency savings, retirement contributions, and a maintenance buffer. Do this today. Set a minimum savings floor. If the house makes you dip below it, the house is too expensive. Tiny example. If you stop contributing to retirement just to make housing work, the house is eating your future. Rule Group 2 Total Housing Drag. Count everything the house will demand. Rule 3. Use an owner's tax. Trap. Thinking maintenance is rare. Why it feels normal. Repairs don't arrive monthly, so they feel like surprises. Fix rule. Rule of thumb. A common rule of thumb is budgeting to 1% to 2% of the home's value per year for maintenance plus replacements plus bigger house drag. Do this today. Multiply home price times 0.01 and divide by 12. Automate that transfer. Teeny example. $600,000 times 1% equals $6,000 divided by year is approximately equal to $500 divided by month. This is not pessimism. This is inventory planning. You're not saving for a maybe. You're prepaying for a future certainty with an unknown date. Rule 4. Budget for payment growth. Trap. Assuming the payment stays fixed. Why it feels normal. The loan rate might be fixed, so you think the payment is fixed.